Hello and welcome to Trading with Rob. I am Rob and this is my daily markup video for the DAX 5-minute chart for Wednesday the 17th of September 2025. So starting the day, we had a gap up of about 87 points, and on the chart I have the day's open marked, the day's close, yesterday's close, and yesterday's low. We have overall a wedge top followed by a bear reversal, possible lower high major trend reversal here, down to into a bear trend, down to a test of yesterday's close and yesterday's low, which then gave a midday reversal into a bull trend, and then another reversal down into a bear trend towards the end of the day. At the beginning of the day, we had several overlapping bars on the open with tails above and below, poor follow through. There's a small trading range with which might suggest that today will most likely not be the strongest trend day ever. After that, the market did break up upwards and formed a wedge top from which we can generate a measured move target to the downside, which obviously we hit later on. This was then followed by a consecutive bear bars breaking out below the wedge top and the 5-minute EMA, testing towards the open of the day. There was a small pullback testing the breakout point, forming a lower high double top and lower high major trend reversal, which then formed another couple of legs down, forming a parabolic wedge, which was finished with broken out below by these consecutive strong bear bars, which were vacuumed down to the measured move target. These consecutive bear bars are strong enough to expect a second leg down in their own right, so probably reset the leg count, and the market went on to form another couple of legs down, forming another wedge, from which there was a two-legged pullback to the EMA, the 5-minute EMA, forming another small double top. Although we'd reached this measured move target, we're already quite close to the, at this point, we're quite close to the close of yesterday and yesterday's low. So often I think we're likely to close the gap and test these price levels, which obviously we did. Strong bear bar. Really, it's a vacuum test of the support levels, and because it's so late in the trend, it's likely to be climactic and exhaustive, so we might expect the price, the top of this bar, to be tested later on in the day, which obviously it was, but it was so strong that it has reset the leg count again, and then we have further downwards pressure forming a small wedge bottom testing below these support levels. But obviously price responded, there was buyers, the market found buyers, and the price bounced back up, forming a pullback to the 5-minute EMA, a wedge pullback to the 5-minute EMA, and this was then subsequently followed by consecutive strong bull bars breaking strongly above the 5-minute EMA, with follow through testing the 60-minute EMA shown by the dash blue line, from which there was a little bit of a pullback, possibly a wedge 1, 2, 3, or a 2-leg pullback. Regardless, this initial leg up is strong enough for its own second leg, so we can expect further price pressure upwards, and eventually forming a wedge, which was then broken strongly above in the third leg by consecutive strong bull bars. This again is late in the bull leg up, and also testing a double top, lower high double top, so it's likely again a vacuum test of resistance levels above, and likely climatic and representing exhaustion with the bulls. We have a bit of a pullback initially, and then another pullback forming a micro double top and a second entry short, which then led to 3 relatively strong consecutive bear bars, with a small pause at the open of the day, which was then followed by a whole series of strong bear bars breaking below the open of the day and the 5-minute and 60-minute EMA. Again, resetting the leg count, going on to form a small wedge and higher low double bottom, again testing the support levels of yesterday's close and low, which then led to 3 consecutive strong bull bars going into the close, which again was strong enough to expect a second leg up, and we can see that price continued to go up after the close of the market. In terms of the best trades for the day, stop order trades, I think that the first one was at the wedge top, second leg up. It can be seen as a second leg up after the gap up, and once we get to here, we get a reasonable bear bar, and then consecutive bear bars breaking below the 5-minute EMA. Reasonable to short, enter short below them, looking for at least a test of the open and potentially a test below, especially after we have the lower high double top retest of the breakout point. Once the rejections here, and going into the consecutive strong bear bars breaking below the open of the day, we've got targets below the measured move target from the wedge top, and a little bit lower than that the yesterday's close and low. And if the price does get down to the measured move target, it's quite likely to get below either both yesterday's close and yesterday's low, given that only 20% of most days do break out of the prior day's range, either high or low, and by this point it's much closer to yesterday's low than it is to yesterday's high. So we can continue selling down. This series of strong bear bars is strong enough to expect a second leg down, and on a pullback roughly 50%, testing the bottom of the wedge, again can short below and the strong bear bar following, but then looking to short any test of the EMA below strong bear bars, and then after the climatic bar testing, bear bar testing yesterday's close and yesterday's low, this could be just a vacuum test, so probably best not to short below it because the downside might be limited. But once we've formed a wedge bottom, looking for strong bull bars now to go long above, we get our first opportunity just after the wedge bottom's formed, looking for initially a test of the top of the climatic bear bar to close the exhaustion gap, continue buying on the way up and pauses, and then once we get a series of strong bull bars breaking above the 5-minute EMA with follow through, it's reasonable to continue buying on the way up. Buying into the third leg is a bit more questionable, but we can expect at least a test of the open of the day once we get to this point. And on the climactic end or bars towards the end of the bear leg, looking for shorts afterwards. The second entry short below this large bear bar is probably quite reasonable, and continuing below the open of the day. And once the strong bear bars breaking below the EMAs start to form, it's a very tight channel, highly likely to have further downwards pressure. Should be good to short these until we start getting reversal bars. So overall, to summarize the entire day, we have, as I said, the wedge top followed by a reversal, midday reversal into a bull leg, and then a bear trend into the close. And overall, big up, big down, big up, big down. I would describe this as a broad trading range for the day. I hope that you have found this interesting and useful, and thank you for watching.